All right, as I've been doing a lot of times lately, I sent you an email with a folder in it, and this is what's in the folder. I want to go over a couple of things with you before we do anything else. Excuse me. One of the things in here is a URL list, and I've got some URLs in here. You know, after was sort of discussed yesterday, I went back and looked at it, and I thought, well, why do we need one editor for Java and another one for Android if we can use the same editor for both? All right, so you can use the IntelliJ IDEA, which is what we're going to be using for both. So I've got something in here. You know, you can go and download it yourself. It's not real huge. It's less than a gig. You know, and for an IDE, that's really not very big. All right, but I also sent you this Word document, and it explains how you can go in and create your first project, so you can see that. All right, we're going to do that sooner or later. There's a getting started in here. There's a discover thing in here. And they also say that, well, if you're not the kind of person who likes to read, we also have video tutorials. So if you go out there that's got the video or videos that you can get. This is how to use it with Kotlin. I just looked that up just a bit ago. All right. As far as Java goes, again, we're going to do Java first. The question got asked yesterday, well, what about a book? Now, you're welcome to buy the books that are for sale, all right, for the classes. We're not going to be going over the material directly from any of the books. All right, that's why if you want to do that, you can, but you're buying them more for reference sake. Now, what I've shown you here, this is from Tutorials Point, and it's a Java tutorial, and I gave you the URL for it. It's 549 pages. It's extensive enough that anything that's in any book we were going to use, it'd be in there. I'm sure of that. All right. Plus, if you've never seen this before, it's worth your time to go out to, I'll give you that URL, blow it up a little bit. And not that you do it today, but, you know, maybe if you got some time during the break, and if you don't, you don't. But it's right there. Now, if you don't know, Sun Microsystems were the ones who created Java. All right. Years ago, they sold it to Oracle, which is one of the biggest relational database management system companies in the world. In fact, their CEO, Larry Ellison, is right up there with Bill Gates as far as richest people, at least in the United States. All right. And in fact, Oracle also owns MySQL. All right. But what this is, first of all, you may care, you may not, but this guy right here literally has a name. That's Duke. And that's the Java mascot. All right? That guy's been around for years. And you can go through here, and as you can see, I'm not going to go through any of it, but when you look, it's an online tutorial. All right? And it's actually pretty well done. I've gone through it not for years, so I'm sure that it's changed a lot version-wise from when I went through it. All right, but it's pretty good as well. When we get to the point, well, I found another one here too. It's just 23 pages long called Java Basics. All right, forget about that. When we get to the point when we're on Kotlin, all right, this, and again, I'll just keep putting these URLs. You've got them, so you don't have to worry about writing them down or anything. You got them in the thing I sent you today. All right. But that URL right there comes up to the Kotlin documentation, the online documentation. That is a 225 page PDF. So that's going to have virtually every feature of the language in it. All right. So that's, you know, if you want to say, I want to start on something, you can start on that. There's a Tutorials Point. This is a lot shorter. The Java one is 550 pages. This is only 60 pages. But Tutorials Point has a Kotlin tutorial. I found this thing from Program Ease. Learn Kotlin tutorial for beginners, because it had some links in it and stuff that looked like it was pretty good. And this thing, if you go out to kotlinlang.org, that is the official Kotlin site. All right. And they have a lot of different stuff out here. Okay, notice they've got it just there's Kotlin for Android. So if you wanted to know more about it, you could go out there. Again, you don't have to do any of this stuff, but I just would, thought I would give you a few of these things. And again, this was the stuff with IntelliJ. So this is their getting started document. Discover IntelliJ. Here's the video tutorials. And here's the online tutorials. All right, so again, if you're interested in that, great. And if you're not, that's fine also. I'm sure that when we're using this next semester, there also must be out there, I'm sure there's an IntelliJ IDE cheat sheet. All right, so if you went out there and you memorized that as an example, and I'm doing something next semester, oh, Jeff, you can do it better like this. You know what? I'm sure you can. Okay? I'm just very deliberate in the way I do things. So I'm sure that when we're working on this next semester, that I will do things, and you might have a way of doing it better than mine. That's fine. I don't care. All right. So I started reading all this stuff, and I went online and looked at a bunch of things, and we're going to actually watch a video in just a minute. It's 8 minutes long, 8.5 minutes long, something like that. And it's on how to use a product that's called Appharbor. I'd like all of us to get started by going out to appharbor.com, please. And I believe this is what it's going to look like on your screen as well. Now, I did this a while ago, so I don't have to sign up, but I'd like you to click the sign up link there. You don't have to give your Rankin email address. If you think you might use this outside of Rankin, you might not want to put in your Rankin email address. I'm not going to tell you what to do. All right. Next, I believe that's your username that goes here, and then come up with your own password. All right. After you've done all that, just click the sign up button, and you'll probably be asked if you want your system to save the password for you. But I think that's it, as far as I know. So there's no money that has to change hands or anything else. All right. Now, this is kind of an important page too, just so you know, because there's a lot there. There's stuff on here when we get going, when you're actually signed in. All right. So you might want to go in and sign in because your page is going to look different once you do. Hopefully I didn't do that too fast. Again, just go out to appharbor.com, click the sign up button, fill in the appropriate information. Once you've signed up, then click the sign in button. Okay? And that's, yeah, are they sending you an email? I don't remember if they did or not. Okay. Now, when you come in and you want to create a new application, this isn't a surprise if you look on the screen. You're going to click in there and give it a name. All right? And when you look in here, this is what I wanted to show you. Let's see. If you go down, where is it? I'd like you to go look up above on top here. All right? And I'd like you to go find where it says add-ons, and I'd like you to click that button. All right, once you've clicked add-ons, I'd like you to scroll down almost to the very bottom. Well, I guess it's not anymore. They moved it. Just a double check. Okay, yes, it is down near the bottom. You'll notice they've got a bunch of stuff up here. I don't know what 99% of this stuff means. You don't want this dedicated SQL server unless you want to be paying money. All right, but if you go down about 2/3 or so of the way down, you're going to see maybe a little farther than 2/3 right there. On the right-hand side, it says SQL Server. Please do that, and if you can't find it, you're going to have to let me know. Just so you can see the difference, what I'd like you to do is then click the button by it underneath it that says See More. Now, you'll notice we're going to use what's called Yocto, because it's free. All right. If you want, you can pay $10 a month, but the big difference is the size. With Yocto, you get 20 meg, which fills up really fast. With Nano, you get 10 gig. Big difference, but Yocto's free. All right. And I'm trying to remember how we did this. Well, we'll see this in just a minute because I'm going to show the video in a second. I think if you take your mouse and you put it over here on the actual logo and you click, then it asks you which one you want. Do you have to create that first? I didn't think you did. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I'm taking your word for it. That's fine. Now, I went out online, and this is how I spent yesterday. Was watching. I watched this. I watched this, and I've started watching this. This is actually fairly well done. This is you've got all these URLs too. This is a YouTube video on how to deploy ASP.NET MVC application on Appharbor. And you look at it and go, that's exactly what we want to do. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is it's one of those videos somebody made where there's no sound. I have a problem really relating to videos with absolutely no sound. All right, so he goes through this, and it's just about 12 minutes long, and it's not bad. There are different ways that you can do the same thing. I want you all to know that. This one I liked, like I said there. It's from a company that's called lynda.com. You may or may not have ever heard of lynda.com. All right, Lynda is another, it's kind of like a Udemy type of thing, but they have more services where they try to hook you in forever, for lack of better words. It's not a class. You typically pay for a service, and you get all of their products for X amount of money per month. All right. I know that when I worked at Blackhawk, they had it for a while. About once every 2 or 3 years, they have a thing. Oh, we get free Lynda service for a month. All right, if you want to go out and look at the stuff that they have. But what I'd like us to do is to go and look at this thing, this video. So I'm going to actually pause the video that I'm making, because once I put a video on a video, the size of this gets really large in a hurry. So I'm going to take what we've been doing here and... All right, so I accidentally turned off the recorder, but what I did was I came up, and on my desktop, I put a loan calculator app that I had. I right mouse clicked on it and chose Git Bash here, because this is what the guy in the tape has suggested. So I did that, and that brought me up to right here. Then I did a git init, Git space init. Now I'm just going to keep following the steps that he gives, all right, in this tape. Let's see how that works.
Directory. Otherwise, Appharbor won't know what we're trying to deploy. Next, we'll type git init to initialize a new
I've already done that.
And then git add dot to add all.
All right, so again, I'm just following his steps. So git space, add space, dot, and that added everything. As I mentioned in class, this gives us some CRLF, some carriage return line feed. Don't worry about those. They're not going to hurt anything.
All files to it. We won't get into a discussion of line endings now, but let me just say that in a real-world scenario, you'll want to set it up to ignore some of the Visual Studio files and generated folders. But for now, I just want to demonstrate the actual deployment. Next, we'll perform our first commit using git commit-m for message, and we'll just give it a init for the initial commit.
All right, so again, I'm following his lead here, so I'm going to do a git space commit space minus m space, and then in double quotes, initial commit, and hit enter. And it's went through it fairly fast, but it committed a lot of stuff for me. Basically went through and grabbed every file, all right, that I had staged by doing the git add dot, and it now made it available. All right.
Message. One last thing we have to do before deployment is link this repository to our remote Appharbor repository.
So the last thing that we want to do is we want to go back into Git here, and we want to go down to where it says repository URL. We want to click on that, and that gives us, this is what, hopefully, this is where it'll come up. So I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. All right. And then just continue on in here.
get that URL from my application page by clicking the repository URL button,
That's just what I did.
which copies it to my clipboard.
And you saw it there, and I
To be able
copied
to
it.
paste into Git Bash or the Windows command prompt, you'll need to right-click the title bar up here, select Properties, and then make sure...
Now, when we tried doing that, or I tried doing that, and I right mouse clicked, there was no properties, but it appeared to work okay anyway. All right? So, again, just following his lead.
Quick Edit mode is selected.
So we shouldn't have to worry
And then
about
we'll
that.
use Git remote add Appharbor, which will be the repository name, and then right-click to paste the URL.
So I want to do the same thing here. So I'm going to say git space remote space add space Appharbor space, and then I'm going to right mouse click in here and choose paste, which puts in my URL. I hit enter, and boom, I get my command prompt back. So again, I'm trying to follow the steps that he has done.
And finally, we can do git push Appharbor master to push our local map.
So let's do that, and it'll ask for the password. That's why I had to start over again, because I had to start another account. Master. And it's going to ask for the password. Okay, now hopefully I remember it. All right. Now notice it is compressing, it's pushing the stuff, it's writing it out there, so that's a good sign. All right, and it's telling me that it's done it. So again, following his lead.
Master branch to the remote master branch of the Appharbor repository. And here I'm just entering the password I used when I signed up for Appharbor. And once that's done, if we go to our MVC ATM application page on Appharbor and refresh, we can see that it's actually in the...
So let's see, when the students tried doing this, they were getting a 403 error. So I'm going to try doing the same thing. I'm going to refresh here. I got a status, it's blue, it says it's succeeded. All right.
process.
Now, this is where he had an error in his, so he fixes it.
Which I think is some real... So let's just change that to a part...
Then he goes through the same process
with the
again.
message of fixed unit test, and then push to Appharbor again. Now, back on the status page, when this is finished building, we see the succeeded icon this time. And if we refresh, we see a link that says, go to your application.
So let's see if we do get that. So I'm going to refresh again. And do I get a link that says go to your application? It's right there. And I'm getting the same error that everybody else in the class got. Forbidden access is denied. Yeah, that's, get out of there. No, because Dominic looked that up and said that's a virus. So close that right.
I didn't click it. I just
Yeah.
this is what came up.
All right, so it says forbidden. It's the same thing that everybody else got. So the good news is it does look like everything built. The bad news is I can't do anything with it. All right, but I'd like to try to finish this up. Let's see what else he does on here. It's only 19 seconds.
So let's click this, check it out. And if I can log in
Okay.
with my admin account,
All right. Okay. It says the issue seems to be that a default document hasn't been configured, so you get a 403. You can see that the application responds successfully by accessing a path like default ASPX. Well, we can try that. look any better to me. What's that?
Track cat will be. Not even matters,
It shouldn't.
but I don't know.
In fact, did I have a default or is mine home? There it is. Try that with yours. See if you, I don't know if you've got a default.aspx or a home.aspx, but try that and see if it comes up. Now, of course, we've got to fix that because you don't want to show somebody the URL and have it come up with a 403 error. That's not going to look very good for you. So we will see if we can fix it. All right. But the good news is, I mean, I'm live, right? This is out on the internet. All right. Did yours work? Yours worked? Ivy? Yeah? Brady? Did yours work?
I'm trying to do it right now.
Okay. Dominic, did you try or no? Okay. Valerie, yours work?
I'm kind of trying to figure it all out.
I can't get to my actual file. It won't like,
Okay.
I can't get to
Ethan, did yours work?
It's going to.
like,
Okay.
put my desktop. See if I can get that open.
I had to download it, re-download to get like everything.
I see.
And
Okay.
I was downloading IntelliJ too.
Okay. Well, that means 5 out of the 9 of us here got it to work. All right. Now, Tiffany's still working on her machine, so that, but we would like to see if we can get the other 3 up here to work. But I still want to look at this. Here's the required IIS documentation for creating a default document. I never knew we had to do a default document.
Is that it?
What's the URL?
This is ridiculous. This is what they're telling us to do, to add a default document for the application. All right. If you're using Windows 2012, Server 20, we're not. We're using, well, we're using Windows 10, which they don't even have in here. But I'm going to try to do it anyway. So let's see. All right. Hold down the Windows key, press the letter X. I love these kind of things. Hold down the Windows key, press the letter X, and then click the control panel. That isn't the control panel. All right, try that again.
Alright, try again. Getting it.
Okay, I'm going to try this way. Internet. I don't want to put that there. X.
Alright, so
Click administrative tools. Right. And then double click IIS Manager. Which of course it doesn't look like I have.
I found
So, short story long, I had to go into my project, and I had to change the name of this, which was home.aspx to default.aspx, then go back into Git after I've saved that, and I had to add it again, then commit it again, and then push it again. Once I did that, and then went back into Appharbor, all right, it was able to realize it just from right here. And again, it went right to my home page, right? And you might think, well, no, it didn't. You just made that up. No, I didn't. Okay, so if I come back over to here and I go back, come on, there. So I'm right here, I'm refreshing. You see I rebuilt it the second time and it worked. It worked both times, but it worked here. I went to go to your application, and now it's there at my application without me having to put in /default.aspx or -home.aspx. So it was a pathing error that I was having. All right, I'm going to stop the tape right now.